15 seconds.
Now, yes, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of AI Amigos Show. My name is Marina, and I'm very happy to be here with my good friend Jan Chao. Hi, Jan. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. How are you, Marina?
Well, all good, all good. We are missing one today. But anyway, we got a very, very hot topic, I would say,
Yeah,
for those AI and tech experts who are looking to try their luck abroad. Today, we will talk about the H1B visa in the US and all the changes that, came into force. Jan and I, we have been researching a lot, and we heard a couple of stories. So then we want to share this with you.
yeah, and I think this particular why is H1B visa so big is kind of go along with the AI trend at the moment, right? So that's why we wanted to talk about it. What's going on? What would that be in the future? And it's quite interesting. And both countries are very strategic on this. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I would say that why it is a hard, like a hard and a hot topic now, because
Mm.
everyone is talking about this, and we have seen this in the news. And I think the main change that we have seen in this kind of visa is that now you have to pay a fee of 100K to actually start moving the process, not even assuring that you will get it, right? So it's
Yeah,
hard.
I know. Like I did a little bit statistic, digging out some numbers. Like a lot, like every year annual cap of those H1B visa is 85,000 totally. There are 65,000 regular visas and 20,000 of advanced degree holders kind of visa. So if you multiply by two numbers together, let's say it just Trump can get it, right? That's 8.5.
Assuming.
Yeah, that's 8.5 billion, That's just 1 year.
Well, so there are many things, going around this. When I was reading, because I read a lot on, the different comments,
Mhm.
what, you know, uh, people who are very famous in the space, like Elon Musk, for example, what people say about this, and if they agree or not. There are many divided thoughts here. One of them is, of course, that the country wants the skilled workers from the country and giving them the opportunity. It all started, back with the COVID-19. But then also there is another voice there that says, okay, but if we have skilled workers here, and if we have more of them here, let's say in the country, they will buy goods and the economy is moving and they are paying taxes, so then it's also good for the system. And in this debate, I think we can actually talk forever, and I have seen this in other countries as well, Ireland, for example, Germany, where maybe they said, okay, maybe we need to put more restrictions for the skilled workers to come, but then at the same time the economy needs them.
Yeah, that
So
was th- that's kind of debate because those in Ireland, I know those kind of we call working visa, right? Working visa has to be you trying to find find the employee internally, but which you can't, and then you have to prove to the government those are the skills currently we don't have. Ireland doesn't have, and then you can apply the working visa. So a lot of them kind of like H1B as well. But fun things is a couple of years back you can be a Chinese cook, which on working visa, which makes sense. No one can cook Chinese in Ireland. So
there were not so many.
yeah, that was the argument. It was quite fun. But yeah.
Well, but actually, so we had a conversation offline, right? So then
Mhm.
that it's also interesting that you don't need to have a super high, level degree to actually get the visa. You need to have some skills. So then if at that point, like, being a chef was one of the skills, then it's fantastic. But then, if now at the moment you
Yeah.
have other skills, for example, as you said, you work in car batteries, or you work in sustainability, or you work, in a very specific niche,
Yeah.
well, so you might get it as well. You can apply for that.
Yeah, the official eligibility for employees on H1 visa was bachelor degree or higher. So
Hmm.
compared to the rest of the world, and especially Ireland or any other places, I know bachelor degree is kind of norm. Everyone has bachelor degree, so
Hmm.
that's that. And then you get an offer from U.S. employer, and you have relevant work experiences and professional license. If you're required to be a state of employee, or maybe there's a different kind of job that require license, right? But those are the four main one you can apply for. So yeah.
Yeah, well, so then the thing is, with these 100K that they are applying the fee in the US, I think that many people will start looking for other possibilities. But let's talk about the
Mm.
salaries. Let's say a tech person that is thinking, all right, I want to try my luck, I want to live abroad, I want to go to the US to work.
Yeah.
And like US is super advanced in terms of AI.
Yeah.
How much is the salary? I think, John, you check about the gap that you have in the salary for this kind of visa.
I did. I just give you a bit status, right, from the USCIS data, right, for the largest H1B users. Let's say Amazon had 21,600 applications. Applications. Only
Hmm.
4% of the position are above 225,000 a year. Okay, so only 4% is making good money. And Tata had 9,608 applications. Average salary of all those applications is about 89,000.
Okay.
So
Well, but
yes,
89,000 is a good salary in the US. I think the average is about like 65K or so. The
yeah,
only thing is, of course, it's a better life when you have two incomes, right? So,
yeah,
but if you say like a single income, 65K, and then they earn 89K, it's actually
yeah.
not bad. The struggle would be actually to get the visa, and who will be paying for this 100K.
Yeah, and then just let's say you have to think about as an investment now, right? You have to pay back. How long are you gonna pay back this implementation, this money, right? If you get a loan, apply for it for 89,000, it probably take you a bit while to pay back, right? So
Well, but also like this, something that actually, when I was reading a lot about this, the application process, what you need, how to start, how to get started. If you want the application to move forward, you need to pay, and
really,
then you don't have the guarantee that they will actually give you the visa, and you don't get the money back.
oh, I
So
didn't know that. I know there's
that's
yeah,
that is the main problem here.
okay. I know there's a lottery system. Once you apply, um, you don't so every applicant has the equal chance. They just randomly selected. They call it a lottery system, right?
Hmm.
So there were talk on this as well to actually kind of introduce the wages ban. So let's say if you're making like 0 to 90,000 a year,
Okay.
you
From
can't.
zero, starting from zero.
Yeah, this is actually kind of from Department of Homeland Security. I was just looking at it. Wanted to replace the random lottery with a weighted wage-based system. So if you have higher wages, they want to increase by 4 times in the lottery system. If you're making a low wage, like they wanted to reduce by 48%. There's a wage band 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically, the higher wages you are, you get more chances. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's kind of
Well, it sounds about right. If you
yeah.
think about this, okay, so then the person who actually has a higher salary is a person who has unique skills, right?
Mm.
So, or it's very qualified.
Yeah, I can argue of that as well because
Tell me, in academia they earn peanuts. Tell me.
exactly. Do you know why I'm saying that? Because I was watching one of the videos of from Michikaku, this
Mhm.
Japanese, like a U.S. physicist, but he's Japanese kind of way. He was talking about this back in a conference have a debate with another guy. He was saying, he said America has this magic visa called H1B. If you stop H1B, the whole PhD community will collapse because the candidate on that is 100%. Everyone is on that visa.
Okay.
So that's what he said. So you can see where this is going then. But they had a visa, so but it was stopping new like PhD candidate or become PhD or join the kind of community, right? So they have issues, like you said, and the academic people don't make a lot of money.
No, they
So
don't make a lot of money, and on top of that, the problem is that they also have to pay this 100K to apply for this visa and to,
exactly,
for example, do a postdoc or PhD, abroad. So
yeah. And
I
in the
don't
wage
know.
system, in the wage system, you could be decreased by 48% chances. So that's what I'm
No,
saying. That like the Homeland Security suggested it's not right at all. It does.
no,
It's
no,
not.
no, totally. And also, as we recheck by law, there are
Yeah.
only 65,000 visas that can be issued per year. So then
Yeah.
now they reduce the number. They put this gap, right? And in this sense, well, so I think there will be like two major problems here. So the first one is I assume that the US market at some point will need the workers. I remember
Mm,
there were some changes before, and then they said, okay, maybe we need to be more flexible because we don't really have enough workers for to work in certain areas. But then
mhm.
on the other hand, the applicants will stop looking at the US as a sexy destination. And then, there are other destinations where they can actually work. Well, Zhengzhou, China, for example. So then
Mhm.
after the H1B fee visa was actually announced, China said, okay, we are opening the visa, for skilled workers who are working in STEM.
Yeah, they call it STEM K visa, right? So yeah, so I seen a lot of multiple locations for like a post, right? And
Hmm.
people from India, those high skilled workers already looking into comparison, directly compares US and China, the
Hmm.
cost. I know they're looking for Japan as well. And in Ireland, we have a lot of Indian high skilled worker join those four, the big four, the company Amazon and all that as well, right? So yeah, so if
Well, Ireland is full of them. Like I have seen them in the classrooms and I have seen them in the industry, full, of people who are working in IT. Even, if you are a person from, let's say, India or China and you are not working in IT, it would be strange. We're like, okay, but then what are you doing here? What are you working on? Because most, like, I remember I read, but it was kind of a year ago
Mhm.
in BBC that 60% of the people who were living abroad, from Ireland, from India and China in Ireland, they were working in IT related jobs.
Well, that's
So
totally
here you
different.
are, and
Yeah,
you're one
that's
of them.
yeah, but that's totally different stereotype before. When I before I working in IT, anybody met me and says, "You cook?" I say, "Yeah, I can cook." Tell me, do you know kung fu?
Yes, no, it changed, but
Yeah,
if we check about the requirements, right? So then the people who already apply for the visa, then they don't have to pay. So then
no,
these
no.
this fee and these changes and this gap, with the amount of visas that will be released, are actually running from the 25th of September this year. So then whoever actually applied before, let's say, like, I don't know, 10 of September, well, all good, like you can breathe. these
Mm.
these restrictions are not applying to you. So then you don't really need to rush for this.
Yeah, they really have to consider as kind of like investment now, right? If you pay 100K for that position, how
Mhm.
long can you get it back? And maybe it's not a bad option. Then we'll see. But that's the money before tax. So after tax, how much money do you have to pay back? So there's different story as well.
Yes,
Um,
well, so then, but if we go like through the conditions, because we are thinking, okay, so this is the money that you would get, or this is more or less the salary that you can get. I would say if I had to pay 100K, but my salary for 1 year would be 65K, I don't know if it compensates it. It's kind of return of investment, you know. If I think
Yeah.
about that, I said, okay, I will earn less than what I actually had to pay to be there.
Yeah, but like 65 is considered low. Like anybody in IT in US probably over 100K. I remember.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say everybody. Like if you check the average salary, the average income is around 66, 65K. It's not that high. Like
Okay.
100K is actually nearly the double of any, average single person. It's still a good salary, but well, I don't know. I would say yes. If you want to make the difference with money, and then you are a really high skilled person, then yes, you can actually make a good difference. Maybe you can earn, like as you said, 120, 100,
Mm,
150 maybe. Um, but really, you have to work a lot. So then I don't know, about the work life balance. I'm not really sure, about that. I
Well,
cannot say. I never lived in the US.
you already invested in. There's no balance, man. You have to get your money back.
Yeah. You need to get the 100K back.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but like if you think about the requirements, let's say like you are an IT person, a technical person, right? So then minimum you need a bachelor's degree. For sure, you already have it if you're working IT. Let's say that you are working in AI, cloud, data science, and so on. You would have an employer, like someone who is willing to give you a job to work there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Specific duties that you will have to complete. And then, well, what happened, for example, if you will be in university, for instance? Okay, in
Mm.
university is more or less the same. You need probably a university that accepts you and say, okay, so you will be accepted to work here, to stay here, not to work, to study here. And then you can start the process with the visa, right?
Yeah.
I would say in a way like it is a bit risky with the 100K that maybe you never see back if your application is not approved. So then I would say this is the main problem, and I feel many people will actually look into Europe as an attractive market now.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. But US have no choice. They need the money. Their government just shut down yesterday. So
Well, yeah, but it's still like what will happen. My fear here, and this I would say, especially for people who maybe don't have a lot of working experience, is
Mhm.
that I assume that many skilled workers would look into Europe, will come to Europe, as skilled workers with visa, and work in different places in Europe, and maybe the market will be actually more competitive.
Yeah, I'm
This
back to
is
back to the AI thing again, right? But if I'm kind of a school and my major is in AI, if I'm one of the applicants, I would choose China.
mm, okay.
I will work there for 2 years. If I can get into AI field, I work there 2 years, and then go to America again, get better, get sorry,
Better
get
salary.
yeah, get hunted
You're
by
getting excited thinking about the money that you could make.
get hunted by any of those guys, right? And they're gonna pay huge amount of salary. Just
Well,
look at
it's
last year, how many Chinese guy being hunted to different AI company, paying a huge amount of money, right?
it's actually not about the idea, and China is extremely advanced in terms of AI. So then, if you're working in AI, you would really learn a lot, and you would upskill yourself, like mostly like in any other place you couldn't do
Yeah,
it. So then
but
it's actually really good.
I think it's market as well. In terms of AI, definitely EU is not behind. We see Claw, right? Claw just
Hmm.
released 4.5. This is US. This is European company, right? And then we see this map of different startups and everything in Europe. It's great, but Europe is short of the market for applications. So in China, you have a huge market. Any small things, they're willing to try it. They're willing to roll out. and just because they can make even or make money on small things. But it's difficult. I feel it's difficult in Europe because the sheer amount of people, there's no base of like application. Let's say in China you can make something, and then 10,000 or 100,000 people use it and make money, but it's hard to find that amount of money in Europe.
Mhm.
You're talking about barriers and drive for
Yeah.
2 hours or 3 hours. You go into a different country, different language. You have to create a different things. So if I'm AI graduate, I would do that. I don't have the money for US first. Go to China and study there. I'll do work for a year or two and jump to America. You have the money, or someone willing to pay 100K for you, right?
Yeah, totally. No, but not just that, something that I have seen a lot as a lecturer, right?
Yeah.
A lot of students, they just join the classroom. They said, okay, I want to do like a diploma in AI or
Mm-hmm.
in data analytics, or whatever related to computer science, because I want to have a better job. And
Mm-hmm.
then you had people who were totally fresh on this, and then you had people who were super qualified. Let's say, I don't know, like a person from China or from India, that okay, they stay in Ireland and they say, okay, I will do like a diploma and then I can stay because I have the possibility to look for a job.
Mm.
And then in the job interviews, of course, this person who actually did the diploma just for the sake of entering the country was beaten the interview. So then, like the freshers wouldn't have an opportunity. And this is what they have seen in the market, like in the real life, right? Then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the freshers eventually they find a way, but it's really, really tough. And my fear now with these changes in the US is that we would have more of those skilled workers coming, like doing a diploma, for example, because it's actually cheaper or whatever, and then, over dominating the market. It's a bit complicated. I know, maybe I'm being like a pessimistic on this.
But I think you're touching on a different point, like what do you call it? Interview skills, right? So
Not just the
certain,
interview. I mean, in the interviews, if you are looking for an IT job, I don't know, in all the interviews that I have done, I had to code. Like they always told me, okay, at some point I had to code, or I had a case study, or I had to do something with this.
yeah, but some people are better presenting themselves. Especially, I interview a few people, right? Like generally speaking, like even I'm talking to my friends, Irish people are not really good at presenting themselves. Even the guy I work with before, like it knows everything, but he's just not really good at interviewing. And what I find this, I praise Indian people on this, that like they are really good at presenting themselves.
They are really good.
So they're
But
really
also
good.
they have the experience, John. They have the experience because they have work on that. And this is
Yeah, I
actually the
know, but like
main
at the same
difference.
time, there's a lot of people don't have that. I was terrible in interviews. So
Well, I don't know. So then I always said like it would be unfair to compare me, for example, that I was delivering lectures, going to conferences, talking like in front of 100 people. So then
mm,
probably I wouldn't be as nervous as a person who maybe didn't do this, like
yeah, I know. I'm
never
not
in the
nervous.
life, or maybe only once.
Yeah, but like I remember first time I jumped the job, like I'm not really good at interviews. I never did interview before. The first job I landed was going to, as kind of intern, and I landed an IT job. When I do interviews, I fail so many times. And then I tell myself, I said, let's treat the interview as a job. So I grab every opportunity I can. Doesn't matter about what job title is. Whenever the guy contact me,
You
they say,
try. It
oh,
was
there's
like,
a job
okay,
for you.
now it's
Oh,
my moment.
yeah, I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. Set me up at an interview. I did at least 200 or 300 interviews, and
Wow.
I going through. I seriously, I was that bad, and I going through all those scripts. What I said is bad. What I said didn't say is good. I getting the feedback from the recruiter. I literally treat it as a project, and then next thing I know, like uh, at same time it depends on your company as well. You can feel, oh, this person click with you straight away, I get the
Yes,
job.
you can feel it. In the interviews, you
Yeah.
feel it. That's true. That's
And
true.
then later on, the last two job jump, I just jumped, and this person called me, this is your job. I said okay, and then one interview done. This is the current job. The one before that was one interview done. you studied 1,000 hour rules, right?
You study
One
more
ten
than
thousand 10,000 hour rules. So I did
you,
really going
you
through
study
that.
more how to sell yourself than the topic of the interview,
Yeah,
of the job.
but after a while, it's still kind of short. A different job, a different level are looking for different things, and so yeah.
That's true. That's true. So something that I would recommend to people who are working in AI or they want to actually progress their career in AI is
Mhm.
looking for other places before going to the US. As you said, Janjao, like China would be a great destination. United Arab Emirates is a good destination. Now Dubai became a kind
Mhm.
of AI hub. So then they are really looking all the time for skilled workers. I
Yeah.
receive constantly messages from recruiters from Dubai, like
Mhm.
they are looking for AI leads or AI project
Yeah.
managers.
Yeah.
So they really need people who, and I remember we talked about this in another episode, that now the main point is not having only managers but having managers with the practical knowledge.
Oh yeah.
That is what just makes the difference. And then I think this is what makes some CVs attractive for them, to contact us.
It's,
So then I would say this is a good market where you can actually go, make some experience, get some years, with
yeah.
your hands on, and then maybe you can switch.
Yeah, it's a big shift now, especially I think it's because the field we work in, like I work in cloud, you work in the AI stuff, and those are very technical areas. Every small improvement of technology just changes everything, especially AI. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you can see more and more like the manager or even senior manager, even my manager doesn't still like to get hands on and like to understand the tech and all that, because once you lose that, you just don't understand. You hardly get into any conversation within the company. It's really hard to choose the right thing if you don't know what is ahead or what we're using, all that sort of stuff. So it's
But
difficult.
something that I have seen here in Germany many times is
Mm,
that the you know I wouldn't say like everybody. I don't want to generalize, right?
yeah.
But many leaders that they are, for example, AI lead or managers or AI managers, they don't have technical studies. They are like business people that they were lucky enough to be in a position that said, okay, now you will be leading like an AI project, and
Mhm.
then they learn more or less, like what are the timelines or what could be the roadmaps or whatever, but they rely entirely on the team working on that.
Mm,
And what they have seen as a difference in my role as an AI lead, when I need to determine like the roadmaps, like for the different startups, that they work with the startups, and then I need to set, okay, different milestones from this point to
yeah,
this point. You should be able to reach this. I
yeah,
have done it before. I
yeah,
have worked so much on this, hands on. So then I know what are the struggles that they could have. I know how long they could actually take to add, for example, a new feature, or to fix, like a bug, or I don't know, to move from point A to B, because I have done it. Maybe not exactly in the same project that they were working, but they have done
yeah,
it before.
yeah.
So then I have a better overview than a person who never done it before.
We jump into a very, very big topic about management, and the devil
Yes.
is in the details. Leaders and managers and all that is so huge. I don't think we can cover that this here, but yeah.
No, but seriously, John, I think like now here is kind of something that I have seen, mostly because of the language, because probably the skilled workers, let's say people who studied or work in AI in China or
Mm,
in Arab Emirates or in Ireland or wherever, maybe they don't speak German, and
yeah,
then it's hard to reach like high levels. But what I have seen here really surprised me. I never seen this before. That like the person never studied
yeah.
any technical degree.
What I think is they did, right? Everyone did. They just didn't follow up. And then they created this vacuum space. The manager here before knows the stuff, but company has to involve. We have a big gap of cloud, AI, all the technical stuff. Now we need someone to manage the team because the previous manager couldn't can manage a team but can't lead the products to a future state, and that created a kind of vacuum. But if you keep uh, we call upgrade yourself, and you should be okay, you know. So,
Yes, totally, totally. But I would say, as a final recommendation, so instead of looking right away to the US
mm,
with the high 100K, and instead of, getting discouraged, look to other markets like
mm,
United Arab Emirates, Japan, China. Those could be very attractive markets as well, and maybe I wouldn't say with less requirements, but not that expensive.
yeah,
So that maybe you don't need to spend that much, and with the risk that you will never receive the money back.
yeah, exactly. Since you are just fresh out of college, looking for option in your early 20s, why not explore other country, other cultures, and other stuff, right?
Totally, totally. Then you can move to the US
Yeah,
eventually. I mean, you always say that you know where you start, but you don't know the end. I started, I moved from Argentina to Ireland, then from Ireland to Germany, and maybe Germany is not the end, so then you
I
never
thought
know.
I don't want to end on the dark notes, but I thought everyone knows where they end. They just all die.
But we don't know when. We don't know when and
Okay,
how.
okay,
But we
okay.
know that it will
I was
happen.
joking. That's too dark. That's too dark.
Well, but maybe hopefully there is a company that want to pay 100K for me to go to the US.
Why
No,
not?
no,
Right?
I need my 30 days vacation.
You need a work-life balance, and
Yeah, exactly.
like talking about like Europe, as a lot of those AI companies are quite ahead of it, but I don't know about the policy. Like the EU policy on AI is really forcing. I feel like I know they're doing the right thing, but a lot of other countries not doing the right thing might give them advantage, if you know what I mean. So
Well,
yeah.
but at some point it will collapse, because you overpass maybe the right of people, images. What happened in the US with the actors, when they wanted AI to replace their image or their voice. So
Mhm.
I don't know. In that sense, I would stand by the actors and not by the AI.
Oh yeah,
You know,
100%. But like,
in that point, it's kind of,
yeah, but
it's a kind of copyright problem
yeah,
there.
I understand, but what I'm saying is like you're trying to do the right thing, but nobody else is doing it. It's kind of hard, isn't it?
Yes, it is hard. It is hard. But then in the end, if you get results, then that is what matters. Jan, we reached to the end of our episode. I want to thank the people who are watching us. Please remember that we are sponsored by Tequila AI, and
Oh
if
yeah.
you need any help, assistant, implement AI or firewalls, or you don't know how to work with your data, you can contact our friends from Tequila AI and tell them that you are coming from AI Amigos Show. And on the other hand, subscribe, follow us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, click the bell so then you always know when we are uploading new videos.
Yeah.
And
Or just
Jan,
find us from LinkedIn. Um,
always, we are still available. Maybe, in a couple of years we will be
yeah,
celebrities
yeah.
and we will not be
Yeah,
that
don't find
available as we
James.
are now.
James is not here. James is not.
Yeah. Jan, it was a pleasure, guys. Thank you for being here, and see you
Yeah.
next week.
Bye now. Bye bye.